Hi, good morning and welcome to Live with Joy. I'm going to give it a few moments for everybody to find that post and then we're going to go over what we are going to be doing today. For those of you who are already joined, and I'll mention this in a few minutes for everybody who starts to come in, you will need to have a couple sets of dumbbells if you have different options available to you, and you will also want to have your mat. So make sure if you do have like a lighter and a heavier set of dumbbells, make sure that they're accessible today. If you have only one set, then that's the set that you're going to go with. If any of the weights that you have are too heavy at any point, just put them down, go through the movements without. We are going to be alternating between standing work and floor work today, so you will need your mat and you will need your weights for when we're standing, and when we're down, it's going to be body weight driven movement, okay? So you will see what we're doing today is going to be 3-part exercise builds, and we have done this before. We had an entire week that we kind of worked on builds, so we're going to do that today. And our week, we're just going to kind of mix up things that we've done before, and we're starting with exercise builds that we did again with one of those weeks. So what you want to have today are going to be those dumbbells, at least a couple sets if you have a light and heavy set, and if not, just whatever set you have to work with, and then also your mats. So we're going to be doing 2 exercise builds at a time. We're going to do a standing one, and then we're going to do a grounded one, and then we're going to repeat that standing one and go back to that grounded one, okay? So that is basically what we're going to be doing today. So you will want, when you're up, you'll be up for that entire exercise build, and when you're down, you'll be down for that entire exercise build. I will have some options for you so you decide which option you want to go with some of those moves that might be a little bit more difficult. You can definitely take those options and do what feels comfortable for you, okay? So we're gonna start right now with our warm-up. All right, shoulders down the track back, engage your center, and march it out. Right, left, right, left. March it out. Standing up nice and tall. 4, 3, 2. Let's take those legs out wide. Wide march. Eight more. Let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's march again for 8. 4, 3, 2. Take those legs out wide. 8. 4, 3, 2. March it back in for 4. Take it wide for 4. March it in 4. Take it wide for 4. Hold it wide and squat it. Bend the knees and bend the elbows. Push that body back. Keep that chest open, down, and press it up. Keep it here. Good, really warm it up. Sit it down and press it up. 4 more, we're gonna slow it up. Get 4 more in. 3 more. 2 more. Now down to up for 2. Take it down. And up, 3 more times, down, and up, 2 more times, down, and up, 1 more time, down. Pick up your speed for 8. Then we step back right and left and reach it overhead. You got 4 more right here. Last 4, last 3, last 2. Step back, reach and step. Reach and step. Keep it right here 8 more times, then back to a wide squat as you interlock those fingers behind that head or loosely behind those ears. You've got 4 more. 3, 2, take it wide, interlock here or loosely here. Either way, open the chest, squeeze, and retract the back. Sit it down and rise it up for 4 more. 3, 2, release those hands, wide march, right, left. 4, 3, 2, march it in for 8. 4, 3, 2. Let's take wide for 4, 3, 2. March it in for 4. Take it wide for 4. March it in for 4. Take it wide and hold. Hands on those thighs. And hinge forward with a flat back. Let's hold. And roll it up halfway. Stretch back spine. Take that flat back down. Roll it all the way up. Allow that head to come up last. And roll those shoulders back. All right, so exercise builds, we have 3 parts. We smoothly transition one exercise, add on the second, add on the third, and then we complete that build. So watch me for your first exercise build. We are going to start with squats right here. Weights to the side, feet about hip to shoulder width apart. Then we're going to add on 1 squat, 1 curl. And then we're going to add on for your final exercise squat into a curl and a press overhead. Now if you can't go all the way up, you can just get a small press right there, okay? All right, so let's get those feet with shoulder width apart. We'll start with 30 seconds of squats. Add on that curl and add another 15 seconds to your time. Add on that press and another 15 seconds to that time. So let's get those shoulders down the back, get in position, and start with just that squat for 30 seconds. Get set. And go. So you are on that clock right here. Sit it down and rise it up. Just that squat. So 30 seconds here. And then we do 1 squat, 1 curl for 45 seconds. Then we add on to that with your final exercise and that press overhead. So it's just adding on, and we've got smooth transitions. It goes right from one exercise into the other smoothly. Good. That last one in, and now you're going to add 1 squat, 1 curl. So we're adding on to that squat. So now you're here for 45 seconds. And then for that final exercise add-on, you add in that press. And you add another 15 seconds to the time, which gives you 8 minutes. All right, get set. Adding on 1 squat, 1 curl, press it up and over that head. 1 squat, 1 curl, press it up and over that head. Good, get those last couple in right here. And then we're taking it to the floor for our next exercise build. We'll come back to this once we are done with that floor one. Good, nice and easy. Let those weights come down, and you're taking it down to that floor. I'm gonna reset the clock so I can show you your 3 moves down there. Now watch me. First move, we're on our belly. We're gonna lift our legs, lift our hands, reach forward and pull back. That's all you gotta worry about for 30 seconds. Adding in from our knees, we press up into a push-up, reach forward and pull back. And your last add-on is going to be a child's pose. And then right back here. Now, if you wanna go stronger, you can press up on the toes, and you can do what's called a hero with those knees off the floor instead of that child's pose. Okay, so you've got that option to progress if you'd like to. First 30 seconds, all you're worrying about is reaching forward and pulling back. Get yourself in position on your belly. Get set in 2 and 1. Let's do it. And you're gonna get a chance to do both of these builds one more time. So you're kind of learning it that first time around. Second time around, you can go nice and strong. Right here, looking straight down at that floor. Legs up if you can. Reaching forward, pulling back, keeping those arms off the floor. Really super strong back muscles here. Good, now you're adding on. So when you pull back from here, arms up, press into the floor and push yourself up. Come down, lift the hands up, and reach forward. And again, if you want to do it on your toes, go for it. And if you can't push yourself all the way up, feel free to just give yourself a little press into that floor and come on up. But when you come back into that child's pose, you gotta really use that strength to add that in, okay? Right here. But if you want to in this combo move, because you're doing more push-ups at this point, feel free to just press up a little bit, all the way up from that floor if you can, is your goal. Good, adding on to that next one, that child's pose. So reach forward, press it up, and sit back into that child's pose. Lower back down onto your belly, lift the hands up and reach forward. And again, if you want to make it stronger, full push up into that hero. Lower down and reach forward. All right, so you've got a couple options there. Choose which one you feel strong enough in doing, what you feel comfortable doing. Completely up to you. Both are good, both are strong, both are gonna make you work right here for that child's pose. Good, get that last one in and start to make your way up. Now I'm going to be resetting that clock. This time around, I'm not going to go to reset the clock. You'll have 15 seconds between your standing build and your grounded build to get yourself in position and go, okay? So pick up those weights. Your first set is all about just those squats. We're repeating exactly those two builds that we just did in 3, 2, and go. So now you should be more aware of what's gonna happen. Okay, so you can go a little bit stronger here. Okay, decide on how you felt. Maybe you wanna go a little bit lower or a little bit faster. Good, decide on those ways that you wanna challenge yourself, but still be able to maintain that good posture and form throughout your movement. Good, getting in that last one, and then you're adding on that curl. So now you've got one squat, and you've got one curl. So we are definitely working strength today, but you may also be working cardio because of that constant movement. That's gonna bring that intensity up. So for you, it may also bring that heart rate up. Good, adding on to that next one. After that curl, that press. Good, awesome job, guys. You start with one exercise, you end by having 3 that have been put together. Finish up your last one, and then you've got 15 seconds to make your way down to the floor, starting with those W reaches. So all the way down onto that belly, get yourself in position, get set to lift the legs, lift the hands, and we start with that one exercise right here W reaches forward and back. Strong back muscles, guys. Really feel those deep inner back muscles at work. These are the muscles that really support your posture. Very important to work these. Good, adding in, so when you pull back, you press up from your knees, or again, from your toes, you decide. Press it up, lower down, lift the hands, reach forward and pull back. From that lifted state, push your hands into the floor. That's gonna really help to push you all the way up from that position. And again, if you can't get all the way up, that's okay, do your best. Just push your hands into the floor and activate that chest. All right, adding in our last move right here. Reach forward, press it up, sit back and into those heels, back to your belly, reach forward. And if you want to make it stronger, on those toes, hero, instead of that child's pose, keeping the knees covered off of that floor. You decide again where you want to be. Completely up to you. Both options are great options. You move as slow or as quick as you feel comfortable with, depending on the exercise option that you are using and how challenging it feels for you. Right here in that child's pose. Good, finish it up. Come on up. And we're gonna learn our next standing exercise build. I'm gonna go a little lighter into my 5-pound weights so I can control my kickback on here. I wanna control the hardest move for me, and that's gonna be the kickback. So watch me and I'll give you some options. We're going to be doing alternating hinges, okay? If balance is tough here, alternate, tap back, okay? But you want to hinge that body forward just a little bit as you tap it back. Adding on, you're going to hinge either the foot down or up, rotate and pull for that row, okay? Foot could be down or up. And then your final add-on, foot down or up, your row, your kick back, back down, and then switch sides. So you're always alternating that leg that comes up, okay? First thing you're gonna worry about or do is gonna be that alternating single leg deadlift with that straight leg. Tap it if it's too much to keep that foot lifted. So get set in position, weights to the front. 3, 2, and 1. Make sure you have weights that you can control for all parts of that exercise build. So that kickback is gonna be your hardest one. That's the weight you wanna have. Make sure that you can control that movement. So we're here for 30 seconds, and then we add on that row when we are in this hinge, okay? Leg up or that toe down to that floor. So we're adding on here, rotate, pull, you gotta hold it long enough to get in that row. And again, if you're struggling with that balance, then you just tap back, pull from there. Keep that toe on the floor if you need to, but you still want to hinge forward. Okay, so extend and lengthen that leg back and hinge forward. If you're lifting that leg up and holding your balance, you gotta stay there long enough to move through that upper body work. And you can analyze where you are on this side. Remember, we are going to be doing it again. So once you get to those kickbacks, which you're going to add on right here, row, kick back, and then down. Now you can start to decide if on that next time you do this, maybe you need to go lighter because you can't control it. Maybe you want to try to go heavier because this feels too easy. Okay, so you decide. Maybe you want to stay with what you have. It feels just right and challenging enough. Good. Remember, if you're struggling with the balance, that toe stays on the floor, but you still want to hinge that body forward as you step back in that position. Good. Take a nice little crescent pose. The lower you hinge, the more you're going to work through that upper body, through that row, and through the back of that arm. Good. Complete that move and come on up. All right, weights are going to come down. We're going to come to that mat. I'm going to reset the clock so I can show you the move first. All right, we are going to first go into walk-out planks, okay? So now watch me. You can start from the plank position. You can start from the knees. We're going to be walking it in and walking it out. Now you can do this combination knees into toes. You can stay on the knees the entire time. You can keep the knees off the floor as you walk in and out. That's going to be entirely up to you, okay? Then we're adding on a shoulder tap to our walk in and out. And then after the shoulder taps, our final add-in is going to be knees. So if you're doing this all from your knees, you would be here and then knees underneath. All right, so you're going to decide where you need to be in those options, okay? Completely up to you. First thing you're going to work on are those walkouts. You're either starting from the knees or you're starting from the plank position. And when you walk in, you can drop to your knees. You can stay on your toes. Or you can stay on your knees the entire time. Get set, 3, 2, you are now in it right here. So again, on your knees, walking it in and out. You can combo it out. Knees as you walk in, coming to the toes as you walk out. Or your strongest one is going to be to keep the knees off the floor and stay low to that ground as you walk in and out. Good. Now we're going to add on those shoulder taps. So once we come here, you could be on the knees or you can be on the toes. Okay, remember, find that combo that works for you. If you need to drop to your knees here, go ahead. If you want to stay on your knees here the entire time, if you want a combo to walk it in, walk it out on those shoulders, tap it from your toes, or come to your knees, you decide. Okay? Completely up to you. You work those options for each one. Maybe you can stay here for your shoulder taps, but you need to come on your knees to walk it in and out. And that is completely fine. Drop to your knees to come in and out. Maybe come to your toes for those shoulder taps. And now we're adding on, so we walk it in and out. You're going to tap your shoulders, and we're going to bring those knees underneath the body. Now again, you might want to drop to your knees coming in and out. You might want to stay on your knees, just shoulder tap. But maybe you want to come to your toes to bring the knees underneath the body. And then go back to those knees. Okay, you can decide when you want to drop to your knees, when you want to come up. You can stay on your toes the entire time. That's going to make it more challenging. Shoulder tap it, and those knees. Okay, I might want to come to my knees walking in, but then come out and be on my toes through the rest of that work. You decide. You can change it. Each exercise, each build that you do. Good. Make sure you hold a nice strong position if you are in the plank. Finish out the entire move. Come on up. I'm going to reset the clock. And we are doing both of those again. Our standing exercise build and our grounded. You'll have 15 seconds this time to come to the floor. I don't have to preview or show you anything. So you just go from one build into the other. So get set. You are starting with, as a reminder, your alternating hinges. Okay, if that's too much, it's a tap as you hinge. Right there. Okay, get set. And go. You're on that clock. Good, hinge forward and come on up. One leg is coming behind you. Whether you are tapping it instead of lifting or hinging and lifting, body like a seesaw. Good, let's get set now to hold our single leg. Rotate, pull through that row, come on up. And remember, if you need to keep that foot on the floor, you're just gonna be right there. Totally fine, yes? Good, on your next one, you're adding row into that kickback, and then return back center and switch sides. Last add-on right here to that exercise build. Full minute. Make sure that head and neck is in position with that spine. You're not trying to look down at your legs. You're not trying to look up and away from your body. You are just gazing somewhere in front of you, keeping that neck in alignment with that spine as you hinge forward. Good, really be mindful of that. Good, those elbows up, lock and in position as you extend out, lower down. Really be mindful of every move. Finish that up, and now you've got 15 seconds to take it down and get set into position. So we're gonna start out either on your knees or on your toes, and get ready to walk those hands in from the knees, toes into the knees, or right here, staying on those toes. Let's go for it. Remember to do what feels right and comfortable for you. If you happen to be on the toes and it starts to get to be too much, come to the knees as you walk in, and then come to the toes as you walk out. If that starts to feel like too much, walk it in and out from your knees. Okay, you can change it at any point. Adding in, so we do one of those walkouts, and then we tap those shoulders. And find any combo that works for you. On your knees when you tap, on your toes in that full plank position when you tap. Again, you decide where you want to be. Good, we're gonna add on after that shoulder tap, draw the knees underneath the body. And again, you decide, you wanna come to the knees when you come in, stay on the knees, shoulder tap here, drive those knees in, staying underneath the knees. Or you can walk it in on your knees, walk it out onto your toes, shoulder tap it, and knees from the toes. You can walk it in from the knees, walk it out, stay on the knees, shoulder tap it there, but then decide you want to come up to the toes for those knees, or you can stay on those toes the entire time through the shoulder taps, through the knees, and through that walk out to start. Good, finish up wherever you're at, get the entire build in, all three of those exercises, and come on up. We've got one more circuit to do, which means we've got one more standing build, and we've got one more grounded build. All right, so for this one, you're gonna need just one dumbbell. And I'm gonna go with my heavier one here, but you can decide what you wanna do. Now we're gonna work one side Weight is going to be in one hand, and then when we come around to repeat it, you're going to bring that dumbbell into the other hand, okay? Now I'll give you some options here as well. So we're going to start the legs out wide. You want to have a nice wide squat. So you're going to let that weight hang down in the center. Now option, if you want, and you can drop it, bring that weight all the way to that floor. That's if you want to, you don't have to. Now from here, our add in is a high pull. So we come down, we come up, and we high pull it. And then from here, our final move is going to be our wide squat into our high pull, but you've got to watch me, rotate it up, and then press it overhead. Okay, so it's down, pull it up, press it. So it's almost like two moves. You're gonna have that little pop, okay? And then we'll wind up doing the other side. All you have to worry about right now is that squat. And if you're not comfortable with that press up, you can just continue that squat and high pull for the entire sequence instead of adding in that third one if you need to, okay? Totally fine. All right, so let's take that weight into the right hand, get the legs out wide, open up that chest, and sit down into that wide squat right there with that weight hanging right in between those legs. If you want to sit low and really get that weight all the way to the floor, you can. I'm going to get as close as I can and press up from there. Good, now we're adding on here and just the high pull. Then we're gonna flip it around and press it up on our last add-on. And again, if that just seems like too much, you can't go overhead, you'll just stay right here for that last and final minute. You'll still work those muscles. You'll just do this a little bit longer instead of adding in that third exercise. This just gets that shoulder nice and warmed up to add that little flip and press in. Okay, so watch me before you do it. As you pull up, you're rotating, and then you press, and then you take it down. So it's that upright row, but as you're doing that upright row, you're taking a little flip so that the palm faces the other direction, both up and now down. I flip so that my palm faces in the direction that I need it to face. Good, take it at your own pace, and if it's too uncomfortable at any point, just go back to that squat and row. Only flip it and press it if you feel comfortable with that. Good, finish up that last one. Weight's gonna come down. I'm gonna pause that clock or stop it for now. Reset, so I can show you next move. Now, you're gonna have options. If you can't do a full sit-up, you're gonna wanna start right here, okay, and just come down to where you feel comfortable. Now, if you can do a full sit-up with me, you'll be right here, okay? So you've got those options, because our next move is gonna come from here, which is why you're not gonna do crunches. You're gonna stay here, so you're ready for that next move, which is gonna be to put the hands down and press up right here into that tabletop, okay? Now, I will give you another option if you do wanna do crunches, okay? You can be here, and then instead of a tabletop, you would go for a bridge, all right? So that will be your option if you feel uncomfortable doing this move and this move, okay? Our final add-on is gonna be our sit-up. We're lowering back into our tabletop, and then we're gonna kick those legs out from that tabletop position. If you wanna make it harder, this is called dancing crab, where you reach for those toes. Okay, now again, option here, come up, press, and kick. And your final option, staying down here, your crunch, your lift, and your kicks can come from there. And then you never have to be in this position if you don't want to, okay? Or that tabletop position. So you're either gonna do crunches to start, full sit-ups, or if you're gonna be doing that tabletop lift, then you're here, okay? All the way down and up if you can. Or again, little crunches with those arms extended. Okay, 3, 2, and go. So you're on the clock. Find the option that works for you. Okay, so you're either right here, not coming all the way down, if you're gonna be doing that tabletop bridge, or you're gonna be right here, sitting all the way up and down, or you're staying with that crunch right here with those extended arms. Okay, so you decide, again, where you want to go. Adding on, so you've got that sit-up or that crunch, and those hips lift right here, okay? So you can be just dropping back a little bit and pressing up. You can do a full sit-up and then press up, and if you're on that floor, you're just doing a crunch into a lift right here. All right, so again, you've got all those options. You decide where you want to be. Hardest one is going to be right here with that full sit-up. Second hardest is going to be that drop back. And then into that tabletop bridge. And your other option right here, keeping it completely on the ground. And totally fine, still working all of those same muscles. Now we're adding on from that tabletop or that bridge on your shoulders, you want kicks. Okay, so you're going to either drop back a little bit, come up, hold, and get that kick and extension all the way down and up into that tabletop and those kicks, or you're staying right here for that crunch, hold the bridge, and kick it from there, okay? So you decide, again, where you want to be. And if you want to make it even harder, we are right here, reaching for those toes, working that dancing crowd while we do those kicks. Good, finish up your last one, and then we're gonna come on up, and we are going to reset that clock, do that left side of that wide squat into that high pull, and then finally into that nice military press as we snatch and rotate it up, okay? We're gonna get those legs out wide, we're gonna take it into our left hand. Now remember, you have 15 seconds from the standing into the grounded exercise build, and you're all done after this. So we're starting with that left hand, wide squat with that hand, hanging down in the center of that body, into, and 1. Here we go, you're on that clock. Last and final exercise build, second time through right here. Starting with just that wide squat. So of course, you go where you feel comfortable. You don't feel like adding on, you could be staying here for that entire sequence if you needed to. But if you can, try to add on at least that high pull, and then you can stay there if you need to. This way you at least get that lower body, upper body movement. Okay, right here. That wide squat into that high pull. Now remember, you can stay here, or as we do that high pull, we're going to rotate the palm to the front, so we're ready for that overhead military press. All right, here we go. Staying with that high pull, or flipping it, pressing it, and flipping back down. Remember, do what you feel comfortable and safe with. If you don't feel safe with that rotation, you're just going to keep it in that high pull, okay? You gotta rotate through that high pull so that the palm is facing away from you as you come in front of that shoulder, press it up, and then you gotta rotate back down and into your squat. So it's that high pull, but you add a little rotation in to get that weight where you want it for that last and final move. Good, last one, finish it out. And take that weight down. You've got 15 seconds to take it to the floor. Now remember, you can be all the way on your back from just those crunches, or you're gonna be right here, just lowering back, or you're going to be all the way into that full sit-up, okay? So option one, just those crunches. Option two, you're just lowering back without coming all the way down, wherever you feel comfortable with. And option three, you're all the way down and all the way up. And you can use those arms. Those arms will help you a little bit to get up and down. For this one, you can. And now we're adding on right here into that tabletop. Okay, remember option one, if you're using that, it's a little crunch into a shoulder bridge instead of a tabletop. Option two, you're leaning back, rising up, and then pressing from there. And option three, all the way down, all the way up, and pressing those hips up. Good, adding on. So now remember, if you're here in that tabletop, your kicks are gonna come from here. But option one, if you're down here, it's a crunch. It's a bridge hold, and that's where you kick. If you can't kick from the bridge hold, you can kick from here, that's okay as well. Right here, we're gonna lower back without coming all the way down. Press those hips up, and kick from here. And your option three, right here, full sit up, into your tabletop, into your kicks. And you also have that stronger option of adding in that dancing crab as you reach one hand towards those toes. So again, you decide where you want to be, what option you want to be working at, completely up to you. And you are done. Let's hold it onto the ground. Do our stretch from there since we're already on that floor. Hug those knees in. Give yourself a little bit of a nice little press right here. And then release that left foot onto the floor and extend and lengthen that right leg up. Hold it there as you rotate the ankle. And then hold it center. Flex and point that toe. And then flex and hold. Pull that leg in. Give it a nice little press wherever you can go, keeping it straight. So don't pull it in and bend that knee unless you absolutely have to, even in order to grab that leg. If you keep it here and straighten it, work on straightening it to the best of your ability. If you have a bend in that knee, that's okay. Keep working on extending it to where you can go with it. And then take that right ankle onto that left leg and hug in that leg. Good. If it's too much to hug, you could just be right here and holding it in. Extra hug if you can. And release. Hug both of those legs and take that right foot onto the floor. Extend and lengthen that left leg up and start to rotate that ankle. Other direction. And center. Flex and point. Flex and hold. And again, pull in if you can. If it forces you to bend your knee to pull in, then just work on lengthening up, okay? So wherever that is for you, even if that knee is bent, it's okay, but work on extending to the best of your ability here to really lengthen out that leg to wherever you can go. And now take that left ankle onto that right leg. Hug in. Again, if you can't hug in, it's too much, just let those arms come to the side. Give it that hug if you can grab and pull. And release. Let's hug both knees in. Nice and easy. We're going to make our way up to our feet. Hands on the floor. Allow the bottom to come up if you can. And then roll all the way up standing. But if you feel comfortable coming up another way, please do so. Make sure your weights are out of the way. Once you come to your feet, roll your shoulders back and face me. Roll and hold. Separate those feet. Take those hands on the thighs. Hinge forward. Nice flat back and hold. Roll that back halfway up. Stretch that spine. Stay in that position for a moment. And then flatten out and roll all the way up. Allow that head to come up last. Once you come up, roll the shoulders back. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale, lower that left arm, lift and reach and extend through that left. Lengthen out through that right side. And then bring it up and across that chest with a nice little press in. Take that arm up and back. Press back. Extend and lengthen those arms up. Good. Lower down. Let's inhale up. Exhale. Lower the right. Lift and lengthen and reach that left side. Get that nice stretch. And then release. Take that arm across the chest. Press it in. And release. Take that elbow up and down. Press back. Hold. Lengthen and extend. Lower down. Interlock behind the back. Open up the chest. Squeeze and retract the shoulder blades back. Lengthen the arms out behind you. And release. Let's take our last 2 deep breaths in. Exhale out. One more time in. Exhale. You guys have all done fantastic work today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this workout, save it, share it, or come back to this page, click on videos, and all of those videos are there for you. I will be here tomorrow virtually at 10 a.m., Wednesday morning at 9:30. If you want to join me in person outdoors at the JCC, make sure that you go to miyjcc.org and register there so that you can come to that class with me. Everybody else can join me virtually. Awesome job today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Monday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.